We're going to take a look at operations with fractions. That means adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying fractions. So the very first thing you need to do is change it to an improper fraction. Start at the bottom, multiply, then add. Keep the denominator, that's the listening check, in the red box. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10 over 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7 over 4. Next step is to make the denominator the same. What you have to do is break down the denominator. So can I break 3 down? No. I can break 4 into 2 times 2. What's missing in each denominator? This one has 2 times 2, so I'm going to make sure the left one also has 2 times 2. If I do it to the bottom, I'm going to do it to the top. Make sure if I do it to the bottom, you do it to the top. Now looking at the second one, that's just missing a 3. So if I do it to the bottom, I'm going to do it to the top. Now you can see that the denominators are exactly the same. Evaluate top and bottom. So 2 times 2 times 10, that's 40. 2 times 2 times 3, that's 12. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 2 times 3, that's 12. Let's subtract the numerators, keeping the denominators the same. So 40 plus 21, that's 61. And then you keep the denominator exactly the same, so 12. Then if it's improper, that means if there's a bigger number on top, convert it back into a mixed number. And this is a listening check. You're going to fill out this by dividing the whole number one time. You should remember how to do this, but what goes in the house? First come, first serve. Because first number is 61, that goes inside the house, 12 outside. First you divide 5, then multiply 60, then subtract 1. Hey, just read it starting from the top going clockwise, and then you always simplify. So going clockwise, so 5 and I forgot to put the 1. 5 and 1 over 12. This is a listening check. This is a listening check. Shade in all your answers on this page. All your answers on this page. Always check if you can simplify. So I can't simplify that, so that's my final answer. Take a look at a subtraction problem. You actually do it exactly the same as addition, so it doesn't matter whether it's addition or subtracting. So first step is always change to an improper fraction. So multiply and add. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7 over 3. Minus, and it's already 3 over 2. Then you have to make the denominators the same. You can't break them up, so that's fine. So now what's the first one missing? It's missing a 2. If you do it to the bottom, you're going to do it to the top. On the second fraction, I already have a 2, so what's that missing? It's missing a 3. If I do it to the bottom, I do it on the top. Evaluate it. So 2 times 7, that's going to give 14. 2 times 3, that's 6. Minus 3 times 3, that's 9 over 6. Once you have that, add or subtract the numerators. So 14 minus 9 is 5 over 6. And is it an improper fraction? No, because the bigger number is not on the top. So you're done. Can I simplify it? No. So I'm completely done. And that's how you add and subtract fractions. So let's take a look at dividing fractions. As always, change it into improper fractions. You multiply and add and keep the denominator. So 7 times 1, 7 plus 3, 10 over 7. Divided by 4, 49. Next step is to make it multiplication. And you make it multiplication by keeping, changing, and flipping. Just remember, keep, change, flip. So you keep the first one exactly the same. You change the division into multiplication, and then flip that last fraction. So it's going to turn over, and it's going to become 49 over 4. Then from there, it actually becomes a multiplication problem. So there's only one difference between multiplication and division, and that's keep, change, flip. So you make a division problem into multiplication by keeping, changing, and flipping. Once it's multiplication, we're going to follow these steps. So you're going to simplify up or down or as an x. This is not the same as cross multiplying, it's just simplifying as an x. So I'm going to write this out again. 10 over 7 times 49 over 4. I'm going to check up and down. So 10 and 7. Can I simplify 10 and 7? Is there anything that goes into 10 that also goes into 7? No. How about 49 and 4? No. But as an x, I can. 7 and 49, something goes in that. And 4 and 10, something goes into that. What goes into 4 and 10? 2. How many times does 2 go into 10? 5 times. How many times does 2 go into 4? 2 times. What about 7 and 49? 7 goes into both of those. How many times does it go into 7? 1 time. How many times does 7 go into 49? 7 times. And keep checking. So I check up and down. No, I'm good. Up and down, I'm good. As an x, I'm good. So that's as simplified as it can be. Once you've done that, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So I'm just going to write out what I had. 5 over 1, 7 over 2. Multiply numerators. 5 times 7, that's 35. Multiply the denominators. 1 times 2, that's 2. So now I have 35 over 2. And then final step, you're going to simplify just in case you didn't simplify it all the way. And if it's improper, bigger number on top, you're going to convert it into a mixed number. So the bigger number is on top, so you need to convert it to a mixed number. To convert it into a mixed number, remember, you divide it one time. So what goes in the house? The first come, first serve, 35. Outside the house, 2. How many? First you divide 2 into 35. That's like asking for half of $35. It's 17. Then multiply. 17 times 2 is 34. Then subtract 1. Hey! Alright, so remember we're only doing it one time, so you don't need to bring it down. Final step, and actually I forgot to do this on the paper, so you're actually just going to draw an arrow. Read it by starting from the top and going clockwise. So this is going to be 17 and 1 over 2. Check if you can simplify one more time just in case you miss something. If you can't simplify, then you're good to go. Let's do one last example. 6 and 2/5 times 1/2. Your first step with any fractions is to change any mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 5 times 6, 30 plus 2, 32 over the same denominator. And a half. Simplify up and down or as an x. I'm just going to write it out again. Up and down I cannot do it, but as an x I can. So 32 and 2. 2 goes into both 32 and 2, into 2 one time, and into 32 16 times. And then I can't simplify the other side, so that's fine. So then multiply the numerators, multiply denominators. I'm just rewriting it. 16 times 1 is 16. 5 times 1 is 5. Simplify and get any improper, change any improper fractions. So first come, first serve. What goes in the house? 16. Outside the house, 5. First you divide 3, then multiply 15, then subtract 1. So 3 and 1 over 5. Check it one more time just to make sure you can simplify. And that's how you add, subtract, divide, and multiply fractions. So follow these easy steps.